Chances are you haven't heard of TCL if you live outside of China, but the company owns the BlackBerry and Alcatel brands, and it's just launched its first own brand smartphone to be offered outside of its home turf. The TCL Plex might have a bit of a silly name, but it does look to be rather outstanding value if you're after a capable handset with just a few little caveats. It'll cost $329 US when it comes to market. You get a very limited choice of colours, either white or black, but the lovely glossy finish has this gorgeous S-curve design when it strikes the light, similar to phones like the Realme 3 Pro. Definitely looks very smart, and it struck me as more of a mid to high range mobile despite that low asking price. Of course, it is an absolute monster at 6.53 inches. You'll definitely feel every inch of that, believe me. I was a little bit worried that that tiny square fingerprint sensor on the back might be a bit tricky to find with your finger when you're fumbling about, but it absolutely proved fine in my hands-on session. And you also get a dedicated Google Assistant key there on the edge as well. Now that massive display is definitely a highlight. 6.53 inches, as I said. It's a Full HD Plus panel which fills most of the front of that phone. The selfie camera is just a tiny little pinhole affair stuck away in the corner for minimal intrusion, although rather embarrassingly TCL is referring to it as a dotch. I guess that's kind of a melding of dot and notch. Make of that whatever you will. It is tiny though, at least. The TCL Plex can upscale SDR content to HDR on the fly. You get nice strong contrast and natural looking colours. It's certainly a very bright and attractive panel, although it doesn't appear to conform to any recommended HDR standards, so chances are you won't be able to stream dedicated HDR content on the likes of Netflix. As for your audio, well, the speakers seem pretty strong, and you get a bit of headphone jack action as well. Lovely stuff. You got a bit of Android Pie on there, and TCL's own UI sits on top of it. Unfortunately, this adds some Chinese quirks like a complete lack of an app store, which is kind of annoying. You do get a widgets desktop, and this gives you fast access to your favourite bits and pertinent information like the weather and whatnot. Kind of similar to the shelf on Oxygen OS. And this UI also adds various other features such as full-on gesture support. You do get a nice bit of one-handed mode, which is definitely useful on this absolute Godzilla of a smartphone. The TCL Plex is powered by a Snapdragon 675, the same as the freshly launched Motorola One Zoom. Go check out that hands-on as well for more on that. And it's backed by 6 gigs of RAM. Performance seems absolutely perfect in my hands-on session. Apps loaded nice and quick. Of course, we'll have to see how it handles the likes of gaming. As for the battery, it's a 3820 mAh cell, so definitely a decent size. It supports Quick Charge 3.0 and hopefully it'll last you a full day. Onto the camera tech, and you get a triple lens setup. Quite an unusual layout on the back there as well with its horizontal design. There's a 48 megapixel primary lens, f1.8, with Sony's IMX582 sensor. This is backed rather unusually by a 2 megapixel dedicated Nxtvision camera with ultra large pixels to suck up more light and basically brighten up your image. Didn't get a chance to test in this super bright booth, but I'll definitely give that a go once I get a review sample. And there's also a 16 megapixel wide angle lens offering a 123-degree view. If you're unsure about which lens is best for the given situation, you can actually see the view from all three at once. Quite a unique little feature, otherwise it's nice and easy to switch between them all. You get all of the usual camera features such as a portrait mode and a full-on dedicated night mode, as well as 960 frames per second super slow motion, and you get full pro controls as well if you want to manually adjust some of the features. And as for that dotch up front, well, that's a 24 megapixel f2.0 lens there. So certainly in my hands-on session with the TCL Plex, I'm very impressed with it for that $329 US price. It's coming to a limited selection of markets. Hopefully it'll be coming to the UK at some point soon, again for a reasonable asking price. Are you tempted by the TCL Plex? That would be great to hear your thoughts. Very interested indeed. So bang those down below, and please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech.